are in listen-only mode.
Yet.
Well, hello everybody. Thank you guys all for taking the time to come on the webinar this evening. Kevin is actually on a plane, and though I'm usually the one who creates the slides and I'm in the background answering the questions, Kevin is usually the one doing most of the talking. So today I have Susan Martucci on with me, and she'll be the one answering questions, and you get to listen to my voice this evening. This is the district championship team briefing. We're going to go over kind of what it looks like as far as registration, what the event looks like. It'll be pretty high level for the event, and then what happens if you qualify for district championships, for championships in Houston. I will also be sending a site-specific PowerPoint to the teams that qualify, giving some more specifics on the venue itself at a later time. But I think that this should answer most of the questions that you should have. So we will go ahead and get going. This presentation is going to move very quickly. Everyone is muted by default. You have a chat window and a question box that you're welcome to type questions in if you do have questions. At the end of the evening, I am recording this, and the recording and the slides will be posted on our First WA site under workshops and webinars. You can expect to find those either later this evening or if not, first thing in the morning tomorrow. Kind of what we're going to talk about is the prediction of teams. We know how many teams are moving on to district championship, but Kevin has an estimate of what he thinks the magic number is for district ranking points. We'll talk a bit about the event-specific information and what happens if you progress to championships. So the question I know many are asking is, am I actually going? And this year seems to be mixing up quite a bit, and it's exciting to see that we have some new teams that haven't moved forward before that have a very good chance of going. So what will happen is on Monday, April 3rd, and likely on April 2nd after Auburn, that's my goal. I will send an email to all the main and alternate contacts with a survey for the teams that are eligible to attend the PNW District Championship. The window to register is very small because load-in is actually on Wednesday of that same week. And so we're asking, basically I think that as a team, you need to talk about it and make the decision now as to whether or not you want to move on to district championships. There is no registration fee. And so, you have to look at the travel costs and all of that. And when I send the survey out, it would be great if you could respond right away whether you plan to attend or not. Because, and I would say especially if you do not plan to attend, because if for some reason a team can't attend, we want to give the next team on the list the best chance to be able to make the decision to attend. And if they don't get the offer until Wednesday morning, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to make arrangements and attend the event. I have here the link to the district rankings website. If you look really quickly, I'm going to try and escape out of here. I guess maybe I won't. If you go to firstwa.org and look on our front page down at the bottom where we show the links to the red truck, blue truck streams, I actually also have a link to the district rankings. It can be a little bit tricky to find on the First Inspire site, so we're trying to make it easier for everybody to find. Oh, on my computer. Oh, there we go. So you think your team is going. Now what? As I said, the district championship registration fee is covered by the fee that was paid to First Washington. So that's exciting because that means that there is no additional charge for teams to attend district championships. As I said, you'll want to fill out the registration form as soon as possible, but no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, April 3rd. Kevin's prediction is that the number for district ranking point is right around 60, so That's what his prediction of the magic number is. Remember, this really is an educated guess on his part. But I would keep watching the rankings. The rankings update pretty quickly after the last event. So within 30 minutes of the Auburn Awards ceremony ending, you should see correct rankings up on the First Inspire site. Dean's List semifinalists and Woody Flowers nominees, should you attend? You are not required to attend the event to move on, but of course you are welcome to attend. New this year, we are going to give the Woody Flowers Finalist Award out during Saturday morning open ceremonies, and Saturday morning prior to that we are going to have a breakfast for all the Woody Flowers nominees just to honor them. Eric Stokely, as most of you know, he won the National Woody Flowers Award last year, and so he will be sending an invitation with details to the team's main contact as well as the Woody Flowers nominee in the next several weeks. So you can all watch for that. It's a great way. We plan to bring them all out on the field during opening ceremonies to honor them, because it's exciting that the students thought enough of all these fabulous mentors to take the time and write an essay. For the Dean's List finalists, the awards will be given out on Saturday night during closing ceremonies. Dean's List students are not going to get re-interviewed at this event, so there's no need to be concerned if your Dean's List finalists cannot attend the event. Of course, we would love to have them there so that we can congratulate them and bring them down on the field, give them the certificate, and congratulate them on moving on, but it is not necessary for either Dean's List or Woody Flowers. So far, no questions, so I must be doing pretty well. Next question I get is, I won the Engineering Inspiration Rookie All-Star Award, but did not qualify by ranking points. What do I do? So for starters, I just want to make sure that everybody understands, if you win Chairman's, that gives you an automatic invite to District Championship to compete with your robot. If you win Engineering Inspiration or Rookie All-Star, you are invited to compete for one of those two awards, whichever one you won, at the District Championship event. And of course you could move on to championships in Houston, but unless you qualify by ranking points, your robot will actually not be competing at the event. So I will be communicating with those teams once we see who is attending and who isn't based on ranking points. If you choose to attend and aren't competing, we'll give you a 6-foot table with power for your event. You are not required to attend the event in order to be judged, and if you do not attend the event, you can let me know. Actually, I want you to let me know, but you can also email Susan Martucci, and her email is on this slide, and she'll help make arrangements with you so that you can still be interviewed by the judges, since you won't be in pits for the judges to come around and talk to in the pits. Okay, so for those who are attending, before you arrive, we need you to do a few things. We need you to register and give us your mobile phone number for a contact on site. We've been asking teams to do that for every single event. It helps us to have the cell number. What we find is in RIMS, oftentimes the numbers people put are work numbers at a school, and at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night, of course, we can't get a hold of you on your work number. So please make sure to put the cell number of an adult who is attending and in charge of the students. Please register and do the RSVP as soon as you determine you're able. One thing to note is that we will be using your table choice from your previous events. So if you have asked for a table in one of your previous events, we will be pulling from that. We don't have enough time to wait for you to do the RSVP and then order tables. We have to place our order from tables, or for tables prior to that. And so just before week 5 events, I will be placing the table order, and we'll go off of your choice for earlier events. One thing that everybody needs to be aware of is there is no robot access period between your last event and district championship. And I'm going to repeat that because we had some people get confused and open the bag. There is no robot access period. The robot access period is designed for district events where you don't get much time in your pits. For this event, you have the established amount of pit time that a team would have if they were at a regional competition, and that is why you don't get the robot access period. So at the conclusion of your final district event, your robot needs to go in the bag and stay in the bag until you're given the okay to unbag by a robot inspector at district championships. You can still work on your practice bot, you can still have your 30 pounds of stuff to bring in with you. You're just not allowed to open your robot bag until you're at the venue and have been approved to do so. And the other thing is your robot must stay at the venue during the event. Don't think that that's a surprise to anybody. You cannot remove it from the venue to work on it. So here's a basic schedule of the event. Wednesday is going to be team arrival and inspections. Thursday, we'll have inspections in the morning and qualification matches after lunch. Friday is qualification matches all day long. Saturday, we have qualification matches and final rounds. Here's an overview of the schedule. We'll go into a little bit more detail, but from 2 to 5, we're going to have team reps load in. It will be similar to what we did in Oregon last year, where you'll sign up for a time. The public will be allowed in from 5 to 9. The next day, doors will open at 8. Matches will begin at 2, and pits will close at 8. The third day, doors will open at 8. Pits will close at 7. Note there is a change, and we no longer have any awards ceremony on day 2. All of the awards are given out on day 3. So the third day, pits will open at 8. We anticipate that alliance selection will be around 11:45, and final rounds will begin at 1. As you guys know, this has been a tough setup, teardown, and cycle times for matches. It's been a tough year for all of those things. I think that we have the cycle times pretty well dialed in. Both events this weekend, one of them a large event and one a small event, ran pretty close to on time. So, as always, be prepared to stay a little bit later, but it is our goal to stick as close to the schedule as possible. Where is the event? The event is back in Cheney, so it will be at Eastern Washington University at Reese Court. This is kind of an overview of the venue. The pavilion is actually here. Parking is up in here, and then you can walk down to the venue, and all of this parking is free. There's not a charge for it. The pits are down here in the field house, and I'll show in another slide. Load in will come in from here to the field house. So load in. We'll be doing a 5-person drop-off again from 2 to 5. Once you've registered for the event, a few times that I'm going to have to manually push it out. It's not something that automatically happens. So probably Monday morning, around noon on Monday and Monday evening, I'll push out an email to everybody who's registered at those times with the link to the sign up for our load-in slots. Something that is new this year is your 5-person team may stay to set up the pits when you load in, but not unbag your robot. And so once your 5-person team arrives on site, it has to be 1 adult. The rest can be adults or students. You can stay, you won't be ushered out. You can stay and set your pits up, though you may not unbag your robot. You may arrive after 5 for load-in on a first-come, first-served basis. And actually, I should take this away that you will encounter traffic. That was a holdover from last year when we were at we were down in Oregon and there was a Trailblazers game. I don't anticipate a large amount of traffic after 5, and it seemed that we got most everybody through in that 2 to 5 window. Safety glasses are mandatory. You will not be allowed in the pits without them. Remember to save some out for the rest of your team that arrives at 5, but you do need to have them on your face. Fred, I see your question and it'll be addressed a little bit later on in the briefing. Follow instructions from the on-site staff, and please do not park in the loading area. The driver needs to stay with the vehicle in case we need the vehicle to move. So you should have one driver in the vehicle. The rest of them can work on unloading and getting the equipment inside. And again, once the vehicle is unloaded, the driver can proceed to the parking area to park the car and then is welcome to come in if they're the 5th person and assist in setting up the pits. You know, please staff your group appropriately to make sure that you can be as efficient as possible. Directions from loading in, like I said, you'll be coming off of the main road here on Washington Street. There's a long road here. Now my understanding is we may be doing some staging on the tennis courts, so I'm not sure. We will have people there to direct everybody, but basically we can unload cars along this stretch here. So that is where unload will occur, and then you'll continue out and around this way, and this road will actually take you straight to the parking lot. So you can either exit or park your vehicle and come in. We are looking to see if we can unload on both sides of the building to get cars through faster. We're concerned about this side being wide enough, so we may not know if that's possible until we actually get on site and take a look at it. Remember, we are going to be strict, but we're going to ask you because it is hard for us to check, but it is only 5 team members that are allowed to load in and set up pits, so the rest of your team is going to have to wait outside if they show up early. My suggestion is you have an advanced crew get there to unload the robot, and the rest plan to just show up at 5. Load-in process. Once you get inside, have your safety glasses on your face. You're going to take your robot to the check-in clue. Robot will have to remain in its bag. Make sure to have the bag and paperwork with you. You don't want to leave it back at the school. And your 30 pounds of withholding. Everything else can just go directly to your pit where you can start setting it up. In the robot queue, the inspector will scrutinize your bag and paperwork and will give you instructions once they're done. So after the inspection, your equipment will go into your pit slot where you can unbag once 5 o'clock hits and when you have the inspectors okay. The inspection process is pretty similar. You know, be ready. Use your inspection sheet. As soon as you unbag, bring your robot to inspection. Once it's been weighed and sized, put your team member on the inspection request list. Obviously, if you're going to make some modifications, you'll need to do those first. But the first available inspector will come to your pit to complete the inspection. You want to get started early so you can finish early. You do not want to wait until the last minute. It would be great for everybody to have a goal of being inspected by 9 p.m. that night. The next morning we have our drivers meeting and practice matches and everything, so I'd love to see everybody on the field. But just be aware that matches do start on Thursday, so you want to be prepared and not miss any matches. Parking. This is a little bit more of a close-up of the parking map. You'll come in and kind of drive around behind Roos Field. We're asking for buses and trailers to park in the uppermost lots here. Each year we have had a trailer that has been blown into a vehicle because it has not had its wheels chalked, and so please make sure that you chalk your wheels on your trailer and park them on the outskirts. Let's leave this parking here. There really is quite a bit of parking, so let's leave the closer parking to our spectators and people parking and walking into the venue. I pretty much went over that. When you arrive in the morning, you will be required to stand either outside and there is a designated area inside that we stanchion off and let teams stand in until doors open to the public. We have on occasion had teams slip inside by other doors that are not locked. We're asking everybody to be gracious and follow the rules and remain outside until the pit opening time. We will be kicking people out of the stands if we see them. but I'm hoping that we won't have to do that. Load out. If you're moving on to championships, you'll want to rebag your robot, move all of your packed gear to kind of, we'll have a specified holding area for loadout. When the driver comes up, try and make sure that you have enough people to be nice and quick about getting all of your items loaded into your trailer or your vehicle or whatever it is that you're bringing, and get that vehicle out of the way so we can help the next vehicle in line. This slide is nothing new, so I'm not really going to go over it. It's the same slide that we've had on our other team briefings, just a reminder of wheels on carts. Again, we've gone over this. Our primary goal for Wednesday, really Wednesday evening, is to get inspected. Please feel free to ask for help. Everybody's been through at least 2 events, so I expect inspection to go quickly, but as people make modifications and change their robot, inevitably some teams do get into trouble. So please don't hesitate to ask other teams. Go to pit admin, ask inspectors if you do need help. Registration will open at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Your lead mentor needs to visit the pit admin desk starting at 5. Registration will not be open during the 2 to 5 load-in window. You'll need to bring all your required forms. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion at Central, so I want to be very clear that we need the team roster printed from Tim's. So it really can be any mentor that brings this up, but either the lead or the alternate mentor needs to go into Tim's and print off the team roster. If you have paper consent forms, you'll want to handwrite those student names on your roster, but we can't accept a sheet of paper with just handwritten names as the roster. And for any student who hasn't electronically signed the consent form or mentor, we will need copies of their consent form from Tim's. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me before the event. It's very hard to troubleshoot at the event. We will not have the ability to print these for you, and so if you do not bring them with you, you're going to have to go off-site to a library or somewhere to print them, and you will not be allowed to compete until you have turned those forms in. Who to bring on Wednesday? Wednesday is really about just getting the robot through inspection, and so many of you, especially those of you that are traveling quite a distance, might decide to only take a small group of your team members to the event on Wednesday and have everybody else plan to show up on Thursday morning. There will not be much going on. We'll be setting up on the field. And I know that we have so many fabulous teams that want to help with field setup. We really have, we have the right number of people to set up the team or set up the field, and so as wonderfully helpful as all the students are, we really don't need any additional students to help set up on Wednesday. So I suggest leaving them at the hotel or leaving them at home. If students can't register in STIMS, then bring a paper consent form for them. You just, the student can sign the consent form if they're over 18. If they're under 18, just have the parent sign it and handwrite them on your roster. That was a question from Dale. Our machine shop will open at 5 p.m. on Wednesday and should be ready to go. So again, this is kind of old hat. You guys have had access to the machine shop and its help all season long. So if you need help, they're at the back of the venue and you can fill out the form, and as always, they will be happy to help you out. They will not loan tools, so if you are in need of tools, you can go up to pit admin and we can put out a request for tools if you're in need of those. Our drivers meeting is going to be at 8:30 Thursday morning. Measurement and calibration will start immediately after that. We anticipate the drivers meeting to go for about 30 minutes and will run until 10. Practice matches will run until, or will run from 10 to 12:30. The FTA will decide whether or not they will have a practice match schedule or whether they will just have a queue for teams to get into practice. That is up to the FTA, and that will be discussed at the driver meeting. You do have to pass inspection to run a practice match. It is common for teams to not be ready for their practice matches. So if there is a schedule, or well, I guess even if there isn't, we will accept teams on a first come, first served basis, but priority will always be given to a team that has not been on the field yet. And the lead queuer will be the one prioritizing everybody. As I said, matches will start at 2 Thursday afternoon. Queuing will begin at 1:40. For those of you who haven't been to this venue, there is quite a distance between the field house and the pits, so they are going to queue you a little bit early. We will not have an opening ceremony on Thursday, so you do need to be prepared to play at 2. We'll have an opening ceremony on Friday and Saturday, but not Thursday. Food. We will have concessions Thursday through Saturday. I think they're somewhat limited, but there is a concession stand on site. Box lunches are available. I have an order form. I do not have the deadline yet, the order deadline. I am waiting on Eastern Washington to give that to me, but they understand the timing of when teams know that they're moving on. You can Google. There is some food nearby. There's a Safeway down the street, so there are options if you want to go get food. If you're bringing food, there is food and beverages are allowed in the venue. There is no food allowed in the pits, but there's a hallway that has a number of tables that you can set up at. There's a courtyard outside if it's a nice day. A lot of people set up a barbecue outside. There really should be plenty of places to eat. One thing that we ask is please be gracious and remember there's 63 other teams trying to find a place to eat as well. And so don't bring, if you want to bring a barbecue and set up a canopy outside and have a table and have the kids grab food, fabulous. If you want to take one of the tables and, even 2 and set up a spread for the kids to go through a line and get their meals, great. Please don't take 6, 8, 10 tables and camp out there for the entire event as a secondary area. Other people and the public will want to use that space too. So we want to make sure that we're considering our actions and if it's something that really 63 other teams can do. And of course, as always, clean up after yourself. We are constantly getting complimented on how nice our teams leave the facilities, so I'm not concerned about that at all. Lodging. Experience has some hotels set aside for us. Of course, you can try Travelocity or other hotel booking agencies. I have been told by a handful of coaches that they're struggling to get rooms in Spokane. So it sounds like there is some other event going on in Spokane, but Experience has assured me that, and I spoke with them way back when last fall when we set up all the hotels, there should be plenty of rooms available through Experience. So so I would follow the link and check with them. Now there is an option to stay in dorms at the venue. I don't know how many of those dorms are left, but if you're interested, you can reach out to me and I can connect you with them and you can find out what the availability is there. Okay, we have something new this year, and I'm actually going to see, Susan, is Ayla on? Do we know? Oh, she is. So Ayla. Oh, Ayla, you're going to have to unmute yourself. Oh, there you go. So Ayla Delat is
Hi.
one of the coaches of 5588 RAIN Robotics, which is Holy Names High School. And their school is, she's also an Eastern Washington University alum, but they are hosting a social. So why don't you go for it, Ayla? I will go to my next.
Okay, hi everybody. So on Friday night after the pits close, we are going to be hosting a Robo Prom for all the kids. It'll be from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. It'll be building as the event. They have some large dance studios. I know previously in the past we've had some activities, but the campus right now is going through a large renovation, so large spaces are a little bit scarce. So prom it is. It is the kids want to wear like prom attire, or if they want to wear.
Ayla, you're really breaking up a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're.
Let me see if I'm. The signal here kind of sucks. So is this any better? I'm outside right now.
That is better.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's a brick building. Okay, so the attire for the event is come as you are, so that if the kids want to wear prom attire or if they just want to come their team shirts after the event, then any of that is fine. There will be snacks provided at the event, so please eat beforehand. So for ticket sales, we will be selling tickets for $15 each at brownpaperticket.com. There is a link available there. You can also search the PNW RoboProm on Brown Paper Tickets. We will be sending out announcements to the next 2 weeks of competition, both for both Red Truck and Blue Truck. And at the event, we will be selling tickets for $20 at district championships. So with the brown paper ticket, it's like a normal ticket sales. There will be either a print at home or a digital ticket option. So please bring the tickets with you, and we will have a list of people who bought tickets they bought, but we want the ticket as just kind of a confirmation. So it should be a really, really fun event with really, really fun music and kind of a way for the kids to hang out after a difficult day of competition.
Great. Thank you, Ayla.
Is that all the information you guys needed for it, or would you like any other information?
If there's other information you want the teams to have, that's fine. These are the slides that I have on it, but if there's anything else you think that they need to know, feel free to tell them.
Nope. I think I covered everything. As I said, it will be the same information about when and where and how to get tickets on invites that will be at the events coming up. So both, as I said, both Red and Blue Truck.
Perfect. Okay. Okay, then here comes the next section where we will talk about Houston. I'm going to look really quickly before I move on. I see that there are some new questions and see if there's anything else that I need to answer really quickly before we move on in the next section. What I would do, Fred is saying it tells you to book directly with the 2 hotels near the airport. If you have any questions, I would call Experian directly because we don't, Experian is separate from us, and so give them a call. There should be a number, contact number for them, and ask them to walk you through. Sorry, I know that that's not extremely helpful, but unfortunately, like I said, they're a completely separate organization from us, so I can't answer any questions about the specifics of the hotels. So once a team has qualified for Houston, or as far as teams qualifying, we will be advancing 3 chairmans. We will advance 2 engineering inspiration, and this year with the number of rookies we have, we are advancing 2 rookie all-stars instead of just 1. Beyond that, the next 32 highest ranking teams after the PNW District Championship points are awarded will receive an invite. I will be sending an email out to all eligible teams on Sunday, April 9th. Traditionally, I have the registration form available at Pit Admin within 30 minutes of the awards ceremony ending. And so many teams will just come back to Pit Admin while they're cleaning up their pit. You can register your team for championships in Houston right there. Once you have registered, I will have FedEx forms that I can hand to you. I will not give you the form until you actually do fill out the registration because I get exactly as many as I need to give to the 39 teams that will be qualifying. And so if you're not sure if you can make it, I can't give you that form because I need to make sure that I have it to give to the next team in line if you choose not to go. I know for my school it is spring break, so Oregon spring break should be over, but for Washington, many schools will be on spring break, so you must plan ahead. We are taking the registration locally and taking the payment locally, but you don't have any more time to make your decision just because it's happening through us. You have until Tuesday, I believe. Well, I know it's Tuesday. I'll have to check on the time. I believe it's 5 p.m. To register and choose to go. So if there's any questions, let me know. But I know that for a lot of people, it's a big step because it involves a lot of arrangements. But unfortunately, we have a very small window of time to make those decisions. Okay, airline tickets to Houston. Washington First Washington, I guess I didn't catch that mistake there, does not have any tickets to Houston this year with Alaska Airlines, with 39 teams being eligible to go, and we've already actually had two teams get offered waitlist spots, so that right now puts us up at 41 teams. We do not have the bandwidth to get 41 teams and reserve enough airline tickets for 41 teams through Alaska Airlines. We've partnered with Get Sports, who we worked with during our FTC Super Regional, to help us with travel arrangements. They are actually the company that helps or that works with all first teams to help travel arrangements, but we've told them of our specific situation with having so many teams qualifying in such a short span, and they're going to do their best to help everybody. To access the Get Sports site, you can follow this link. They are also, if you look at we have a championship page on our website. It does not have very much information on it at this point in time, but it does have the link to their website. So you can reach out to them and they can help you with any travel arrangements you have. One question I'm getting is how long before you need to pay if you were to make it to championships in Houston. Just like with First, you have to make payment arrangements the week after you qualify. We're actually a little bit more flexible than First, but you need to register by Tuesday, and within 48 hours of registering, you do need to have your payment secured. And securing payment means submitting a PO, having a letter from your sponsor if you have an organization, if you have a donor that's paying your fee for you, or a check from the school. That's what we would need to secure your championship slot. Hotel information for Worlds. We have no control over hotels. Again, you want to visit the First Inspires website. It will take you to the experience site as well. I have already heard that some teams are having some difficulties with hotels, and although I feel your pain, unfortunately, we have absolutely no power to do anything about it. So if you have any questions, contact Experience directly. And Dale, no, credit cards are not accepted for championship registration. You need a PO, check, or letter from your sponsor. Pit shipping. Some teams use a trailer and are willing to take other teams' stuff if they have room. Many people ship their pit equipment via FedEx, and that's something that you would have to do privately, but you can reach out to FedEx and have them do that for you. Some people put some of their tools and stuff in with their robot. If your robot is over a certain weight, they will charge more for shipping, and so the FedEx paperwork that you pick up at Pit Admin or that we get to you, you're going to want to read very carefully, especially with our short turnaround. You have a very, very small window in order to ship your robot, and especially with our teams going to Houston and in essence competing week 8. You need to follow those directions very carefully if you want your stuff to get there on time. And it will talk about how much the overage is. Some people decide that's worth it. Some people carry some stuff in luggage on the plane, some stuff with a robot. There's a number of different options. So someone said that at an earlier webinar it was stated that 55 teams. No, it was never stated that 55 teams would advance. At one point in time, Frank put out a blog, and on the blog it said 40 or 41 teams is what they estimated would advance based on preliminary numbers from the PNW, but where that settled at after all the teams had registered was 39. So so that is all I have. You're welcome to contact me if you have any questions. I think everybody on here probably has my contact information, but it's on the slide. As I said, the slide and the recording of the slide will be posted on the workshops and webinars section under Team Resources on firstwa.org. I will stay on the line for a few more minutes. I'm going to stop the recording now, but if people have additional questions, I'll be happy to stay on the line and verbally answer any additional questions that people may have. And for those of you who are competing in the next 2 weeks, good luck with the competition. It's as most of you know, because most of you already have competed, it's a fun game to watch and a fun game to participate in. So good luck, everybody.